Welcome to Monday Motivation. I'm Tom Connolly, your local leadership coach. Leadership is a people business, meaning understanding personalities and relationships is essential. I have seen successful leaders of many different personalities in various roles. I have seen leaders who are successful in one position fail in another. We see this in businesses where a highly successful CEO in one company fails in another. Many books are written on the forensics of these cases, and a few are on military situations. The forensics will always identify a witch's brew of internal factors of personalities, relationships, organizational culture, and strategy, and external factors of terrain, like the market, the enemy, competition, allies, partners, and the universal elements of time and space. Only with experience do leaders learn to deal with all of these factors, and the best leaders learn from different people's experiences. I concluded as a lieutenant that there are 4 kinds of leaders: the competent good guy, the competent asshole, the incompetent good guy, and the incompetent asshole. While these are gross generalizations, they are instructive and borne out over time. The competent good guy knows his job and the occupational field, cares about his people and their development, and leads by example. This leader is easy to work for because you are always learning and you know his intent. Every action is about the mission and the people. Now, the competent asshole knows his job and the occupational field. He cares about his people if it affects the mission and him, and leads for effect. You can work for this guy because most of the time he will do what is right, or at least not prevent you from doing what is right. However, you always have to look over your shoulder because he doesn't have your back. You will experience rough seas periodically for having made mistakes due to lack of experience. The incompetent good guy now isn't an expert at his job, but he cares about his people. And you can work for this guy, but you will have to find others to teach you about your job and your occupation. However, he won't get in your way because he knows you are good and getting better. He will only concern himself with areas in which he feels competent. Now, the incompetent asshole. He is usually a narcissist, only concerned with his or her success. He will either micromanage to ensure mission accomplishment or yell a lot. The unit may be successful regardless because of the other leaders who hold it together, but no one will be happy. Every day will be a new crisis. You can't work for this guy for long because you will be miserable. Organizational turnover will be significant, except in the military, where you live with the boss you're issued until his shortcomings become evident. And they will show eventually. Over time, this guy degrades the unit's efficiency and kills initiative and innovation. Now, there are leaders at every point along this spectrum, and sometimes you develop an opinion of a leader incompletely. So observe every leader. Observe the decisions they make, the policies they set, and their relationships with their staff and subordinates. Make notes in your journal about decisions and policies, what you think will result, and the actual results thereof. A good boss will address your role with you and how he sees you fitting into the organizational dynamic. I learned this as a lieutenant working with my first platoon sergeant, and I made it a habit to discuss and even include in an appointment letter those issues for my most critical subordinates. So this week, make some notes about your leaders and then consider your subordinates. Have you given them the guidance they need? If you haven't, get on it. If you want to learn more about leadership, sign up for my newsletter at the link below. And remember, All things are possible through prayer and heavy deadlifts. I'm Tom Conley.